So someone's lying because Baker Mayfield yesterday was asked by the Panthers media about the whole Cynthia Freeland story that she initially told on her NFL podcast, and then she sort of changed dramatically the bones of that story when she came on live with us the very next day. And sort of, if you haven't heard all the iterations of it, let's listen to first Cynthia, what she said on the NFL podcast that dropped a couple of days ago earlier this week. We've got that.
You ran into Baker Mayfield, the former Browns quarterback, recently, and I was hoping you could share an exchange that you had.
It was after the field, or on the field after the game against the Bills, this preseason game 3, and I walked up to him like, "I'm so excited to see you." Like, go, I was like, kick some butt. I didn't say that word, but, kick some butt, kid. Yeah. No, like, go kick some butt, especially week 1. I, cannot wait. And he uses some expletives, and I was like, I just hope you're he's like, I'm going to bleep them up.
Ooh, that's being the Cleveland Browns, the week 1 opponent of the Carolina Panthers.
Depending on. All right, now, the very next day, we called Cynthia and said, would you like to come on the show and talk about it? So she did. And this is what she had to say on our show. Listen.
I walked up to him after the game. He looked great. Everything was, he looked like he's happy. He's like having fun, God forbid. And I'm like, I hope you have a great season. I used some expletives like F them up. Like, I know Baker's spicy and, he's been spicy his whole career, but dating back to college. So, I said that and then he just kind of agreed with me.
So obviously the difference in the two stories is she's the one that said, F them up, and then he kind of agreed with me, and then Baker.
But in the initial one, Jay, she did say that she said something to him first. She didn't say the F them up part because she was trying to be, she was uncomfortable using that language.
I think leaving that part out, though, was an intentional omission. And
I don't think it was an intentional omission.
She left it out for a reason.
No, I just think she was not sure how to say it without using the curse word.
But because he said exactly what she said, I think it's important that's a big part of the story.
It is an important clarification.
One way or the other.
I just don't buy she omitted it.
I don't want to parse whether or not she left it out intentionally or not. First of all, I chatted with her yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, she wants this whole thing to go away.
Right.
She thinks, like you, there's being way too much made of this. Here's what she doesn't understand. Why would anybody kill Baker over wanting to win?
Nobody is killing
Nobody's
Baker.
killing him for that.
That's Baker nonsense and Baker propaganda.
But the reason I think she's upset about it is because the issue of did she violate something that was said in private that was never intended to be on air.
Right.
Someone gave this example to me the other day, somebody that I went through a journalism ethics workshop with years ago, and he said, do you think that Baker would have said that if a camera was in his face and rolling?
No.
And if the answer is, because I remember hearing that before, and I said, yeah, I remember hearing that at a workshop we did many years ago. But Jay, I don't think you use that standard as to whether or not you can use something in a story, but clearly he wouldn't have said that on camera. But he backtracked yesterday, and the point of this discussion is Baker denied it. We can't run the clip. You've probably seen it. Baker basically said, I didn't say it. He started his comments by saying, I didn't say it. And then he basically was asked a follow-up by a media member, well, how did you say it? And he basically said that he didn't say that, and he just agreed with her. So that's where it kind of gets into the co-signing of go F them up.
Right.
I'm not going to call anybody a liar because that's problematic. Because, by the way, it could be proven that either one of them is telling the truth or lying. If a piece of video comes out, and trust me, everybody's looking to see if they may have captured it, we may find out one day. So I think everybody should be careful before we go, this one's lying or that one's lying. I think we should parse our comments with, in my opinion, I believe Cynthia is telling the truth.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not going to call anybody a liar. We don't know, and we got to be careful about doing that.
There is a possible in between that maybe.
There is a possible in between.
She thought he said the word.
You're right.
He didn't say the word.
Imperfect paraphrasing.
Ultimately, what? By the way, I said that about the Myles Garrett thing years ago, and nobody when everybody was saying Myles Garrett said he used a racial term,
right?
And the Great Gazoo said he didn't. Mm-hmm. I kept saying, is it possible that Myles Garrett thought he said it and he just missed? In the heat of action, that's possible. I don't know. I'm saying that's a possibility that people weren't considering.
Anything's possible.
And
that's why we got to speak.
Too, but ultimately, he's admitting he agreed with what she said.
Yes.
He's just denying that he said the word.
Man,
Who cares?
But
Yeah,
bro,
he should have just admitted.
Bro, this sound like
said it,
legal
who
jargon.
cares?
This sound like
Right,
legal
it's
jargon. We
stupid.
parsing all these words.
It's
Bottom line
stupid.
is she shouldn't have said that. She should have kept it.
But she
G.
already said that. Nobody should be ripping her anymore. She already admitted she shouldn't have done it.
I get
I don't
it.
think anybody. I think
More people are ripping her than Baker. Nobody's ripping Baker.
She's taking it pretty hard.
She solicited Baker. Baker didn't go up to nobody and say, "Guess what I'm about to do to you." He chilled.
Gee,
and hold on, watch
do you
this.
think she was trying to get him in trouble?
Let me just give you this.
No.
Let me just no.
No.
So I think she
I don't
was,
think anybody
I think
thinks that.
like
She
she
made a
said,
mistake.
she was excited.
Yep.
Now, as a person, as a journalist, you shouldn't be excited. You gotta tamp that down a little bit, and you gotta realize this: these players take that as Baker Mayfield is on his last leg. He can't make no more mistakes. He probably got something that he talked with the Panthers that say, "We not trying to hear nothing from you. Don't you do this, or this." He had to give $5 million back. He's at the end of the rope. This is his last opportunity. So yeah, I'll be pissed off if it's the last opportunity I got and people said doing stuff where I'm just trying to go play my game, bro. I don't want to smoke.
Yeah, probably be careful with this saying I'm going to F up my former team.
Then don't
Yeah.
say it.
Anyway.
Well,
Then don't say it if you can't.
I'll agree
And
with-
in the end, she said she was wrong for putting it out there.
Right.
She made a mistake. She's the only one being raked over the coals. Nobody's ripping him at all. Is anybody ripping him?
I don't know. The only thing that I've had a problem with is that he's running from saying it. Here's what I would have done. Yeah, I repeated what she said. She put words in my mouth, and then they came out of my mouth. But here's the thing, and let me be very clear about this. If I'm Baker, this is what I would have said. Own it. That's who you are. You own stuff like this. And here's how he does it. Yeah, I feel like I was done wrong by the Cleveland Browns. I feel like the way my career there ended was not fair to me, and I felt like I deserved better. So can you blame me if I want to go out there on that field and F them up?
So who cares?
No, but
he
own
wasn't
it.
treated
But if-
unfairly.
I think
but
that's my
if he
only
feels that
problem
way-
with Baker
Guys, we
in
gotta
this
go.
whole
We gotta
thing.
go. I got a lot more I want to say about this too. But
Can we
let's
get back to
continue.
this McNuggets?
We will right after.
We were
right after.
we tried to keep the intro short, but the shirt thing got
Yeah,
a
we
little-
screwed
Yeah,
up.
it went
We
off.
screwed
It
up.
went
You
off.
want to hear about the
Get back
origin
to
of my
what you
mom's
have.
name?
Yeah.
fantasy